Trust me to croak at the wrong moment. Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Inworld review. My name is Mal Burns, and we are basically interviewing people and looking at destinations in Open Simulator. Most of them, of course, connected by a wonderful device called the Hypergrid, or usually wonderful anyway, which basically allows you to jump from grid to grid, just as in an older world like Second Life, you might jump from location to location within the grid. So I'm also joined by steadfast operator here, James Atlloud, who has a new costume for once. He's fiddling with all the knobs behind the scenes, which means changing video angles, video feeds, audio, everything else like that on the technical side. And he likes to sit, but he has been known to speak from time to time. So welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mal. I just came from a late holiday party, so I've got my antlers. I've had a good time.
I like the jacket, I must say. Although
Oh yeah, that's a Beth Ghostraven system jacket. Very flashy.
Yeah, I love the texture. I don't know where it is a system, but I could use the texture on something else.
Yeah.
Nice colours, textures. Right, okay. Pardon me. It's just the wrong time to start coughing. I've also got my regular co-host here, which is Thirza Ember. Welcome, Thirza.
Oh, hello there, Mal. Hello, everybody. I don't have any cough drops. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Should have brought some with me.
I probably just need to take a break in a second to go and get a cold drink. So I don't start drying up and croaking at the same time. Okay, so let's see next. We've also got two guests with us today, both of whom come from the Alternate Metaverse Grid. We have Clifford Hanger. Welcome, Cliff.
Hi there, Mal. Good to meet you. Hi, Thirza, and hi, James.
hey.
And we also have Cataplexia Numbers. Welcome, Cat.
Hello there, Mal. Hello, James. Hello, Thirza, and everyone watching.
And if you do hear a cat in the background, it's not Cat. It's another cat. But that's another matter entirely.
Just to add to the confusion, my cat's just joined me in real life as well.
And we're actually we're here. There's a bit of a problem on our OS Grid today, so we're on a backup studio that we have at the OSCC Grid. But I've just realised our cat and dogs are not here.
Right.
Oh, what a shame, eh? But never mind. Okay, getting on with everything. So we're pretty much back to normal this week. It's the 8th of January of 2023. I've still got it right. No panic yet.
That
Yeah,
works.
that's right.
Yeah, that's right. I have to remind myself. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh, no, hang on, that's wrong. Right. We're getting back to normal a little bit, I think. We're going to having a closer look at the Alternate Metaverse Grid in a while. But first of all, I'm just diving around here to see what we've got in the folder here. We don't have any pictures to actually show you this week. They're going to be coming next week. So moving straight to the clips department. Just going to show a couple of incidental little things. If I can find them. Oh yeah, this is pretty silent anyway, so I'll just play it in the background. But you found this Thursday, didn't you? And this maybe you'd like to tell us what's going on here. It's
Yeah. Oh, sure. This is Cute Lala Artist, who everybody should probably already know from many years on OS Grid. Now she's over on Winkstropia Grid, and she's been working for a very long time on different musical instruments. And this is her latest thing. It's an organ practically. The other one was more like a spinet, but this one's a full-blown organ. It plays different songs, and she's fixing it up now to play even more sophisticated pieces of music. Anyway, she's just finished perfecting the script for it, and so she had put this on our MeWe channel over on the HE Safari channel over on MeWe. So if you're interested in watching the video and hearing the music, you can also see it on YouTube, which I will put the link in the comments at the end of this episode of Inworld Review. So it's a fun thing, and hopefully we're going to be going to do a safari there soon.
Oh, cool.
all right.
Yeah.
Love the
I
idea.
had,
I was trying to do that with a drum kit.
It looks
I
fun.
had a very big contraption once in Second Life, which was heavily scripted, and it made particles and music, and you could compose just about anything on it. But it was probably a harder learning lesson than a keyboard in real life, to be honest. But yeah, that looks good. Well, basically the clip here is just repeating itself, so you get the idea. Okay, I have a couple of other things on the incidental thing. This is a ski mountain opening for, it doesn't tell me where. Okay, moving forward here. It always happens at this time of year. Lots of regions. I forget which one this is. Sort of covered in snow, but you go to various ones. You can pick up skates and things. So instead of walking, you can sort of glide down slopes, and you can get on that car. It's gone without him, as you can see. But I mean, he could have taken the cable car up to the top. I think he's got to wait for it to come back down again. But I love this, you know, it's not steampunk, but there's just something, you know, about when people get going with their mechanical things in OpenSim. It's just sort of something, it's a very sparse landscape, but it's just, you know, puts you in the mood, doesn't it? And
It does, yeah. I think this is a video by Al Scotch, who people always say, well, I don't know what's going on in OpenSim. I can't find out what's happening. Well, lots and lots of people do post what they do in YouTube. So this is one of the many people that's worth subscribing to, because then you find out the latest that he's getting up to. And he travels all over the place. So many good videos on Al Scotch's channel.
yeah,
Excellent.
it looks like the top of the region is also rather picturesque as opposed to down below. I would have thought it was the other way around. I sort of think of the town being at the bottom and the, you know, the launch point being at the top. Oh, I suppose the town's in the middle here, isn't it, really? Okay, well, as I say, find that on YouTube. It's actually 5 minutes long, and I think we've got the gist now. But I love the, you know, the idea you can sit and move. We've done that on Safari a few times, haven't we? We've been on boats, buses, and various things. Often, you know, almost accommodating the whole safari, which is, you know, quite an achievement in itself. So
It makes my life easy, I know that. And everybody's on a bus.
I finally got one new one here. This is the Land of Oz for OpenSim. And I think this is an OAR you can get somewhere. I don't think it's one of Thirds. Can't be sure, but it's very nice anyway. The Land of Oz. Who can't like the Land of Oz? Elaine Miller.
Oh dear.
Sorry?
It's okay. We know Elaine Miller.
Right, okay. Do comment if it's polite.
Shall we just draw a veil? I don't know.
Oh. Okay, well, I think this is rather picturesque. It's mostly a lot of this is just slideshow and stuff, but it's got that the witch on the broomstick there, and I love those trees with faces in them.
I can never tell if those are trees or if they're the Easter Island faces. Those trees.
I think they're a combination, aren't
They're
they?
both.
You know, instead of building a monolith, you know, they carve the character into the tree. Although, yeah, there have been some fantasy things, aren't there, where trees walk and have faces. Oh, and that's Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, I think, not Wonderland, but never mind. Aslan, or whatever he's called.
No, that was the Cowardly Lion from Oz.
Okay.
Oh, of course, that makes sense. Yeah, Land of Oz. Where was the clue?
We have a few animated trees that we use for Autumn Fest, with the branches coming out and grabbing hold of people. And
How
like
lovely.
Yeah.
Forward to seeing some more of that.
And I kind of like those trees that have hidden insides, a bit like a cave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you find a little bit that's actually open, and you can go inside them and they open up like, well, more of like a cubicle, but sort of a hidey place deep in the forest. Hey, I found a tree and a door in it.
Cataplexia's got a few of those on various regions.
And the worst thing that happens is when you enter and you stand on the floor, there's an instant teleporter that sends you somewhere else, and you can't find
Yeah,
it.
that's happened to us a few times.
I did that on some of my builds early on. It's just I just thought it was fun, limited space. I'd make a sort of garden, and but I would only have so much space, so I put hidden teleporters there, and as you stood on them, you teleported to a completely different region, somebody else's that was a bigger garden. The idea that you took my little garden and you seamlessly moved to another grid which had a big garden. I thought it was a bit like having a blog roll on a blog, except nobody could find their way back again. So what was the problem?
Now, what grid is this on?
Oh, the one I'm talking about now? No, that's doesn't use anymore. This one now?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's just called Land of Oz for Open Sim. Oh, it's about to end, actually. Maybe here we are. No, it doesn't say. I think it's an OAR file. I can't be sure. We'd have to look up the creator, whose name was at the beginning there. Anyway, I thought it was something nice to look at. So, without further ado, and before we move to our Alternate Metaverse Grid, it's time for Thirza to join us. She's already here, but with the hypergrid happenings.
I was expecting a coffee then.
Hello, everybody. Yes, so hypergrid happenings, a name stolen with no shame involved at all from our friend John Simmons over on Facebook. He has a group called Hypergrid Happenings. So if you're in Facebook and you're not subscribed to that group, it's worth doing it. Lots of music events and lots of different people posting events, and maybe you want to post your stuff too. So anyway, I have just a few things for this week. One is Varda, who's singing. She's always singing, but I wanted to mention her this week. That's happening over on Barefoot Dreamers Grid, and again, we'll put the link to the place in the comments at the end of the video, and that's coming up on Thursday, so don't miss that. She performs, I think it's every other week over there on Barefoot Dreamers, so worth going to. And here's another one that's a lot of fun. If you're not sick of winter yet, then go over to Trinash's Winter Wonderland. That's on Craft Grid, and it opened just before Christmas, but it's staying open right the way through the winter period to the 28th of February. So worth taking a look at. That's Trinasha is the name of the sim. There are two sims. So the way the poster's set up is a little misleading. Just look for Trinasha when you get to Craft and you'll find it. Another really nice thing that happened just today, basically, was that Rogue Galaxy announced that she's reopened her mini grid, which is Virtual Melody Grid. It's a well, I say mini, it's not really mini. It's quite small at the moment, but I think it's going to grow. It's a music grid, really. She's got 3 venues for music already up and running. She's offering free land and a place to build a home for touring musicians if they want that. She did mention, though, that it's a limited time offer, so if you need to get in quick if you're interested in having a free place to live. She's going to be doing a talent show a couple of times a month, and the idea is to encourage people that are into music but haven't really got much of a following or haven't really got into it in world to get up and perform. She's going to be inviting different grid owners to come in, and these are paid gigs, 20-minute shot to see how you like it and if people like your music. And there's going to be loads more happening over there. She's going to be renting out Sims a little bit and just really trying to do her best to get music, continue to get music live in OpenSim. Partially why she's doing this is to do with the fact that New Hope Grid was attacked, so they're down for a little bit. And so the music goes on. And there's the address at the bottom over there. Is VM Welcome Plaza is the main sim, and then you can go and visit the other sims. And again, the links will be in the comments. And now we also have a mind meld opportunity. Anybody want to meld their mind this evening? Or, well, hold on a bit. You can do this on Tuesdays. This was last Tuesday, but it happens twice a month. So you can do this in a couple of weeks from now. It's an event that happens over on Third Rock Grid in the Star Trek area there, which is Astraeus Colony. This is the Leoness part. So what they do is they get together and have some brainstorming, just conversation, very pleasant event there to get you involved a little bit, maybe in role play if you like, but you don't have to. You could dress casual. You don't have to be dressed in Star Trek outfit or anything like that. So it's just a fun event to go along and be part of. And that happens at 10:30 a.m. till 12 p.m. Second Life time. And here's another fun thing to do. This is coming Saturday. That is kayaker. In real life, he was off in the Sierra Mountains. He took a trip, and he decided he would like to share the slideshow of his real life trip. So you can go along and do that with him if you like. That's going to be on Saturday, and it's at Discovery Grid, not over on Kitely. This is on Discovery Grid, and that starts at 9:30 a.m. So that's going to be a fun thing. I'm definitely going to see that because I have many good friends over in that part of the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, if you have something you'd like to have us talk about on Hypergrid Happenings, just let us know. We'd be happy to include your party or your project or whatever you're getting up to. And we've had our guest AMV mentioned quite a few times in the past weeks. So looking forward to getting more events to mention on Hypergrid Happenings.
So there we are, folks. The latest Hypergrid Happenings from Thirza Ember. Thirza, I heard that. When you started talking about mind meld, I thought, whoa, this is something new. And then you said Star Trek. I thought, oh, of course.
Vulcan style.
Very
Why
sluggish.
not? It's all very healthy.
Yeah. I mean, well, one day we'll find a way of mind melding in virtual worlds. So we can swap entities, and then you can come out and you'll be in my place, and I can come out and I'll be in your place, or something. Who knows?
Google are probably doing it already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's made by an AI, of course. Can't possibly have a human created mind meld, can you? All right. Okay. So turning our attention. Oh, I would also ask a little plug here. Anybody remember a show called Grumpy Old Avatars?
Oh, yes. Yep.
No.
No.
I loved Grumpy Old Men,
Mhm.
but I never saw the other.
It was one we did in a certain world called SL.
Oh, wow.
One of my fellow grumpy old avatars was a lady called Slim Warrior. Anybody heard of Slim Warrior?
Yes.
I thought you might, yeah. Well, she's back around. And I had her over in OS Grid during the week. I think she's planning, I think she's reopened Menorca in that other place. But certainly wants to do more with music things, whether we have a music, like a artist interview accompanied by a little mini performance talk show kind of thing or format. But anyway, she's very much a pioneer in this. She was one of the first people in Second Life. Certainly she is the first British musician in Second Life. And in fact, I think I saw her on a BBC show talking about it before I'd even been into Second Life. That's how long ago it was.
Wow, that is a long time.
That was at the peak of launch, where sort of, there was opportunities to do real TV shows to talk about it. Anyway, hopefully she'll be around, and I might even have her guesting on this show. I know Thursday's going to be away for a couple of weeks in a while. So we will see. Probably all fall apart, but never mind. Nice to see old faces get becoming interested in virtual activity again, as it were. A rather than the real world. Right. Well, not as well as the real world. I shouldn't say rather than the real world. All post-COVID and everything else. Right. Let's move on to Cataplexia and Clifford, both of whom come to us from the Alternate Metaverse Grid. And we've got well, it's not a slide, it's part of a video actually. On screen you've got their little logo there. And this is a 12-minute video. I think this one's actually, I've got it down here as tour, so I think this is probably the closest we've got to an introduction. I'll play it straight for now, but I'm not going to play all 12 minutes. I'll fade it down and then we'll start talking over it. So let's start it up as it's meant to be heard.
Okay. The music is by Joao Frazao.
Oh, wonderful. Of
Yeah.
course, we know Joel, yeah.
One of our regular performers. And Grid friend.
And the video was shot and edited by Sophie Supermarine.
Right, okay. Is this looks like a landing area? Is this from the amount of signage I see? I assume it's a
That's the Welcome Center.
right, yeah. Right.
First port of call.
And radio AMV speaker.
Yeah, we have an internal radio system that plays on most regions most of the time. That's 24/7. That we put the live musicians into so they can be heard outside the world and in any other grid or any other internet browser.
A very animated horse there, I must say.
That's a very beautiful video. Yeah. Who did the editing of this? Sophie?
Sophie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good, isn't she? Wow.
I used to see a lot of her films, but less nowadays actually. So. Mind you, I think she used to film in Second Life too, didn't she? A lot. So I'm probably thinking.
I believe so, yeah.
So tell us, how long have you had, of course, you've been around for a long time in OpenSim, but how long have you had the Alternate Metaverse Grid running? How long has it been?
It's been 3.5 years, but only just over 3 years publicly. We wanted to build it up before opening it up to the public, and I think that was a good move because a lot of people came in, you know, from the beginning of that, from the beginning of opening it publicly. This is part of Explore Your World. Look at this. You're in Havana, Cuba 1 minute, you're in Greece, you're in Paris. This is just beautiful. That was created by Ricky Giano, aka Ted Jr.
He doesn't he do a course, a building course?
Yeah,
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he just restarted it again yesterday.
Excellent.
Basic prim building. Very well attended.
So that's one of the nice things I love about your grid is that you have come up with all these opportunities, not just to, I mean, it's nice to dance, we all enjoy it, but to actually attend a class, mix with people, and come away with a skill. That's such an interesting approach to virtual worlds, and not every grid has the possibility of doing it, but it seems like you've attracted to the grid so many people who are interested in sharing their knowledge, and you've created this base that they can use to feel that you know you're behind them in what they want to do, and then they can share their talents with the group. And I love that. I mean, you've got such a range of different classes, haven't you, that you offer on the grid. Everything from belly dancing to blender, I think.
This is
Am I
our
right?
town hall right there. Yes, we do. Well, belly dancing is more of a gig, you know, because all the dances are all
Well, sure.
scripted
But
in.
it's fun though.
But we have very unique classes. We have DJ
Mhm.
classes and hosting classes. scrying workshop classes,
Tarot
Let's-
cards too, I think. Am I right?
tarot cards, yes. We are running. I think it's weekly. The Lauren Tone Sounds classes, and he does different things all the time. Yeah, and we have photography. We have.
So how do people get to?
What was
do the
Maya's
classes?
class?
What did it? How do they?
Particles.
How does? If somebody's got something they want to teach, how do they get to do that? What is there? Do you
What we
have
to
some
do
rules
is
about
ask
that?
Well, we have a dean of education.
Right.
She's normally the first port of call. Anybody wants to do something, they say so, and we either put her in touch with her or she gets in touch with them. For instance, we've got somebody teaching basic PC skills. That
I
starts
think
tomorrow.
your parcel deliveries are a bit slow there by the look of it.
Yeah, that was Zombie Jungle. This is where we do the belly dancing right here, Manipura. Beautiful region.
Yeah, lovely. So really, anybody can come in and say, "Well, I know how I can teach people."
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
A language or something. I would like to do a few courses, but I love the way that you're explaining that. So it's very professionally run. So people are not going to just be let down by somebody who says they can teach another person how to speak Chinese while doing cooking a stir fry. They're actually they know what they're doing.
Yeah, our academy staff are very, very skilled in that, and they will actually interview the people to make sure they do have a bit of credibility before letting them loose on the general public. But
Yes.
equally, we
ask
give
for a
them
syllabus too.
we give them all possible advantage they can have, like with presentation systems like you're using here. We can offer them that as well.
That's cool.
We
I
ask
bet
for a
the-
class outline that tells exactly what their plan of education is, and then we set up whatever they need and try to promote it the best that we can for people to attend.
We'll have to look at this. We'll have to look at this hypergrid happening. See if we can start putting things on there.
That's Clan of Scotia dancing. That's
now
his
they're
club.
magnificent, aren't they? Clan and Webby and the whole band. Wow.
Oh yes.
So how did you manage to get them?
Well,
that was quite a coup.
We liked them and we asked them, and they like us, and they wanted to. They came and played there a few times, and they wanted to stay. So they got land, and they live there, and
Fantastic.
they're just wonderful people, and
We
they put on the
quite
best shows.
We have quite a simple philosophy. We like people to be happy, and if we can make them happy and they make us happy, then everybody's happy, and the show goes on. And
There's belly dancing.
That's basically how we run alternate metaverse.
Well, your approach to start slow with not just opening the grid up to everybody straight away, that looks like it really paid off, because it's given you a chance to have a wonderful base of people you can trust and just work out from there, because you've grown a lot in the last year. I read somewhere that you're one of the top growing grids in OpenSim. Is that true?
Yes, it is true. Part of
I'm asking you to blow your own horn now.
Part of the slow start meant that we learnt a lot as well. By not opening directly to the public, we managed to iron out a lot of
This is
issues
the church.
before they happened.
The Church of Rock and Roll by Ian Kitsilano. That's him playing in there. He's fantastic. He sings, he plays guitar, he DJs, he does
He acts
everything.
as well. He's
And builds.
a well-known actor in
Yep.
in Canada.
He's actually had barroom brawls with the the boys the boys on Supernatural.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I have pictures. This is Tracks. This is a club that is connected to Raceway Island. It's on the main island there. And Chris McCracken plays there. He DJs every Saturday night.
He organises races there on occasion as well.
There's Jimmy Olsen, the Greedy King. The Greedy
So
Elf.
how many residents do you have that are regular attendees, let's say,
Well,
who are
we have-
regularly present on AMV?
We have 2 grand residents. But let me just look up stats right now, and I'll tell you how many are present right now on the grid. 1 second.
About 400.
Oh, it's pretty good for
Yeah.
region.
I mean,
But the trick
a lot-
is that you're not just residential, you also have a lot of things happening that people can
Yeah,
get
exactly.
involved with. So there's space for people to just be by themselves and building whatever they may want to
Yeah,
do.
there
Yeah.
is. I mean, the actual breakdown on
486.
Yeah. Well, the actual breakdown on the regions, we have 752 regions as of this morning. 262 of those are isolated. So those are the sort of people that you very rarely see. They'll come in, sit on the sim, play around, listen
Yep.
to music, or eat with their friends or whatever.
Yeah, or maybe just
And-
focused on some project that they want
Yeah,
to do.
exactly.
And they don't
And
want to be
that's-
distracted.
So that's about a third of the regions are isolated.
Yep.
79 of the regions are what we call grid common, which means they're communal, like tracks that you saw, Manipura, the Corifon Academy, and things like that. 28 are demo regions.
I like to build a lot, so I build these regions that are open to everybody, like Meridian and the Medici, and big, huge regions that are, just for everybody.
Yeah,
We have a lot of those.
and 8 airports.
Yes,
Yeah.
what-
They're not all our airports, though. They're
No,
Ve-
not all.
various people have. But some of our common places that we've built are Raceway Island, which is 5 different regions in one. Meridian, which is 9 5x5 regions plus 16 surrounding regions. The Medici, which is a 12x12 that has everything from role play to tours to boat races. We just had a Christmas parade there. It was just wonderful. Let's see.
I
I'm
can
not
imagine
saying-
a 12 by 12 with scripted boats running around and no crashes. It was great.
We even have a campground. You can go camping overnight there. There's gypsy camps. There's everything there.
Let me hang on. I've got to move on here. That's actually that tour. I actually ran the whole 12 minutes there while we were talking because it's an excellent film. Really is. Gives you a whole feel for the variety.
Thank you.
It could almost be a
Sophie did a
tour,
great job there.
it could almost be a tour of open sim, not per se, but in showing the variety. That you can just see when it fade from one location.
Yeah,
to
you could say it's a very good advert for OpenSim in general, not just for
Yeah.
AMV.
Yeah. Next one I'm going to play is your Winterfest, which was at the end of this year, I guess. And this is
Yes, and the regions are up until March with all kinds of winter sports and stuff open to everyone.
here we
So
are.
there's another question for you. So what was the thinking behind, because you've done a festival pretty much for every season, haven't you?
I used to do Winterfest and Autumnfest over in Inworld when I was their events coordinator.
Mhm.
And those were my ideas. They carried on with the one after me after I left, and then I brought them to OpenSim when I came to OpenSim.
And you did, because it's a lot of work to organize a big festival like this.
Oh,
so how do
tell
you-
me.
Yeah. So how do you work that into your other activities? Because you're building and doing other things. So is it your team? Would you say it's your teamwork that makes it possible to have all these different
well,
things happening?
If I can just
Actually-
interject, the cat builds really, really fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a speed builder. I even built all these little snow globes have my builds inside them. like my church and my castles and all that kind of stuff.
The mini build shrunk down.
And I'm a recycler. My Autumn Fest and my Winter Fest, I reuse the regions each year, and I change them a little bit, and I add new regions onto them. Like this year, we had a region that had snowman builds and Christmas tree decorating builds that the residents did and visitors. We opened the contests up to visitors as well.
So that's the secret, to recycle, and if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right. When the winter ends, we store it away, and then we open it up again next winter. And we'll have new stuff added on. This year, the Mercuries, Ellie and Doc and Martin Mercury, did a region called Christmas Market that had a huge market on it, and live music venues and snowball fight, kind of a maze for snowball fights and all kinds of stuff on it. And that was added to Winterfest.
Wonderful.
This was your third birthday promotion, which would that was this year, yeah?
Yes, lots of fun.
Last December.
This region was built by Ted Jr. and Chris McCracken. Chris McCracken was the builder of Raceway Island, by the way, and Zombie Jungle, and Mythical Realms, and what else did he do? Yes, Adventure Isles and Illusion. He's a wonderful builder. He's our grid manager. And
so
Ted Jr.
How did you come up with these people? Are these people you've met here in OpenSim, or did you know them from back in the day in Second Life, or are they new
Chris
friends?
McCracken is actually an ex boyfriend of mine that I lived with for a while. And then when we broke up and moved on, we stayed friends. All of my exes are all over the place. Nick Green is one of my exes, and he lives there. You know, if you live with somebody, you should leave on good terms. You should leave on good terms. Yeah, that's recycling too. Absolutely. I must be doing something right if they're still friends with me.
That's true.
You are definitely doing something right, my love.
Oh, thank you. So Ted Jr., who is not an ex, and Chris McCracken, who is, built this together. And we had our third anniversary there on December 5th week. And it was so much fun. It was really so much fun.
So here's a question. Since you were mentioning about having visitors come from other grids, have you had much problems with, because we keep hearing people talking about, well, we've had all these attacks.
Well, I got to tell you.
Yeah, what's your strategy there?
People who do that are just, they're like little kids, seeking attention. We've had Priscilla Kleenex move in to our grid, take down regions. And you know what? Our residents are allowed to, first of all, copy their ores. So they all have copies of them. Second of all, they're allowed to do a rollback. So somebody like Priscilla comes through there and knocks out a few regions. They're back up in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
And she's banned for life.
It's no real problem. It's almost
it's nice
becoming
to hear
sport
that.
now.
It's always sad. It's sad when you hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm just going to close. I'm just residents only from now on because."
Oh, this is tarot reading table.
Yeah. This is nice.
I made that along with Orb Emerald and Nightwind Armistice. He did the scripting, and we did the Orb did the physical objects, and I did the tarot readings, the actual tarot readings. So this table actually works. When you click on it, it does a tarot reading for you. Yeah.
Must try that out. I didn't notice that when I was there.
I'll have to send you one so you can play with it.
Even better.
Yeah. I can't get it now because it's, It's not in the suitcase.
It's great seeing these videos again because it reminds me of all the things that we've achieved, all the things that we've done. It's absolutely amazing.
I'm afraid the quick video footage I did doesn't really stand up against your slick ones. But also, of course, I was given 4 regions to actually go and film in a bit.
Yeah, and a very limited time to do it in too.
Yeah. I can't even remember which is which at the moment.
We're so lucky to have these videos that Sophie did. And there's one by Orb Emerald of us dancing New Year's Eve 2021. The rest are all by Sophie. And all of them are really good.
And we'll have to put your YouTube page in the comments as well so that people can subscribe and see these videos in their own time too. That would be nice.
Fabulous. You inspired me to get a blog page from going to your HG Safari blog page. I left there and made my own.
Nice.
So and I have you listed in that too with the links.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And so people have been starting to do blogs in there, which is great. We're going to do a section on videos and put all of our video links there.
Yeah, we've got
anyone to see.
I was just going to say, my memory serves me well. The video links you sent me here weren't actually at YouTube.
We don't use YouTube.
No, they're on our own servers.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
this way you don't have to buffer or anything like that. Yeah.
You don't have to prove who you are, and it's not available in your country.
And all stuff for the adverts.
Yeah. I mean, we've got good servers, we've got good fast servers, so we use them for everything.
What am I looking at here? I don't even recognize that.
I'm sure I can't tell you. It was
somewhere on the grid.
Oh yeah, is this the one that had a Stonehenge thing at the beginning? Oh, I can't remember that. Yeah, it's somewhere
there
on.
Is a stone thing,
well, that was Optimus Prime.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a mistake.
A different grid?
No, this is Safari during the week.
Oh, the Safari.
Yes, I don't know why it's number. The numbering system has gone a bit weird here. Okay, let's have a.
He looks scared.
That's definitely not our Mr. Chips.
That is not right. Good grief. Okay, I think what here is accidentally I've is that
now that is alternate metaverse because I created that. I know it is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, have a look at this. There's 3. I think there's 3 clips in Safari that have.
That's okay.
They were done on the same day that we had Safari.
Looks like Meridian.
Yes, Meridian. Meridian. So are lines that cross each other, right?
Is this underwater?
This is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I remember trying to figure out how to get better lighting because it was so dark, but then I realized everything was pretty bright, and then it wasn't the sim settings; it was the fact it's underwater.
There's a museum, there's apartments, there's mercaves that you can rent for free. The apartments you rent for free. This is a club there called Club Neptune. We've had Clan of Scotia play there a few times.
And the whole thing is 300 meters underwater.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute? That's one of Webby's stages that she built. That she she makes these stage inserts for all of their gigs and puts it on top of whatever existing stage you have.
I'm with you. Right.
She is
with a reser.
An amazing builder and scripter.
I don't think I've got any resers in OpenSim because we used to use them a lot for stages in Second Life. We'd have one.
She is a PMAC genius. What's the other one that she uses? SF Poser, that's it. She's taught classes on both at Corofon Academy. So she's really, really, really good with them. And she's taught people to build outrageous things that they normally would not have done. Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's
yes.
lovely to hear that somebody shares their knowledge, because so many times you do hear of people, well, they built something and then they're very jealous of how they did it, and it's all a big secret because they don't
Oh,
want
I
to,
know.
you know, you
Yeah.
come across that sometimes, which is,
Well, there's-
I mean, you can kind of understand it, but it's a shame because it's so much more fun if different
it's the
people can
sharing
get
thing
involved.
That's the
we really
museum.
that we really encourage. I mean, the building class that you mentioned that Rike does, Webby is a regular at that. Webby can build, but she can help people. She helps Ted out,
Yes, she
Rike
teaches them
out.
how.
She
Yeah.
helps around in the background, and she shares all her knowledge. It's just absolutely
That's
wonderful.
lovely.
Excuse me. Just get some.
Because of course that's really the secret of OpenSim, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
community, it's the sharing spirit, and if you've been helped, then you're more encouraged to help somebody else.
Exactly.
I don't know if you know this, that when OS Grid had their auction, fundraising auction earlier last year, I should say, the most money was made by an item that had been built. It was a particle piece of art, and it had been built by a person who knew nothing about particles until they took a course at Corifon Academy. And so,
That would have been
Maya
mine.
and
so
Tara.
that was the
Yes.
piece that raised the most money of any piece of art that was auctioned.
Excellent. Excellent.
Isn't that nice?
Maya and Tara taught particles, and she also teaches sacred geometry. You don't
Lovely.
find these classes anywhere, like anywhere in the world. You know,
That's quite a combo, isn't it?
yeah,
It
it
makes
is.
sense though in a
Yeah,
sort of spiritual, virtual way.
Maya's wonderful. She does DJing for us at the AMV street party, and she's a good joiner. You know, this is at Corifon Academy. That's the landing hub.
Landing hub for the kind of
Yeah. And then you have outdoor classrooms surrounding it. There's the tarot one you can see off to the side with all the tarot cards on it. That's an empty classroom right there. There's tarot. And so we have all the outdoor classrooms, and we have sky classrooms outdoors. And then we have the main building for classrooms as well. This is where Mike Lowry teaches mesh building.
All right, Linda. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a BOM
So is there-
classroom.
Is there anything that you would like to have taught at the Corifon Academy that so far you haven't had a teacher come forward that could teach it? Is there
Well,
anything
we
that's
had-
kind of on your wish list?
I would like to see more rigged mesh. We had
Yeah.
rigged mesh, and the teacher had to, take care of real life, so she's no longer doing that. But I would like to see that continue. I would like to see BOM, that people learn more about BOM and how to create clothes for it and how to even dress themselves in BOM, which is difficult.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
I would like to see more people teaching some of the stuff that I teach. I've been a teacher in the virtual world since, let's see, 2014. No, not earlier than that.
In OpenSim or elsewhere as well?
2008, I started teaching in Second Life. I started teaching chakra awareness. And one of my students, when I told him, take all that good energy that you got from doing this and put it to use, build something. And he built me a school called the Wisdom and Enlightenment Center in Second Life that was 4 regions in size. And I taught there. And funny Stonehenge should pop up right now because I taught in the middle of a Stonehenge build at that school. And I've been teaching chakra awareness since then. I taught at Mystic Academy in Second Life. When I came to Inworld, I taught there, and then I brought it to OpenSim. Started teaching when I first lived in Kitely, in Genesis Grid, in OS Grid, and now on my grid, I still continue to teach it. And it's now connected to the Corifon Academy.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Rig,
you were
rig,
mentioning
rig mesh, and
that would be good,
Blender,
huh?
more
Find
extensive
somebody who
Blender,
could do more about
like
that. Yeah.
like using Blender to convert prim builds into mesh would be a good one as
Yeah,
well.
this is all Core Fun Academy. That's an art gallery to the right there. And then there's a photo gallery. We still have to add the art to it.
I found that out after I dived in.
Actually, I was going to do Doc Nolan's art, and then we had our Festival of the Arts, and I ended up moving it to there instead. And so he never got his show there. So I'm going to have to make good on my word there.
This building at the side is interesting too. I mean, I noticed when I was filming these bits some really nice architecture in places. Like this,
I got that from Jimmy Olsen.
right. I was wondering about that because it's very modern as opposed to these older looking ones, but very unique too, the style of it. So
Yeah.
Tasteful but modern, yeah.
Jimmy is a silent grid manager. He doesn't want a tag, he doesn't want a title, but he does so much for us. And creates mesh. He creates these 3D meshes for all the performers. With their name, puts their name up in lights and stuff over their performance.
Because he has the wonderful his shots are so wonderful. Everybody is always commenting on the wonderful content that he has. So.
Yes, and they're all on our grid. They're all on our
Yes.
grid now. They used to be over on Sacrarium as well, but no longer. And he has Flora. He has the 3D Museum, the Greedy Museum, the Light and Sound Museum, where he has a whole library of sounds and every kind of lighting you can imagine.
So
And
do
then-
you see yourselves, because I was curious, I was just thinking about what you were saying about being in Second Life before and then Inworlds before. Now, those are two places where making money is really quite important. Obviously, Second Life still is, Inworlds no longer exists, but it was very much a commercial grid. It was on the model of Second Life in that sense. And of course, the things that you've been talking about are free courses and free items made by people like Jimmy and so forth. So is that important to you, the idea of the free content? How do you feel about that? Are you interested in making money from OpenSim? How does that work on
I'm probably
AMV?
best to answer this because I've taken my stuff from my stores that I've been building for over a dozen years, and I've put them all for free. Everything that I sell, I do it for free, except for my castles, because I tell you why. In OS Grid, I used to be very active in fundraising for them, and my castles I had put on the auction, and the agreement was that I can still sell them, but I won't give them away for free. So that
Gotcha. Yeah.
if somebody purchases it, they don't want to see it on a freebie stand next week.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But everything else I have for free. And
That's something.
I do weddings for free for residents. Anybody, I mean, they could be there for 2 weeks and they want to have a wedding, I'll do it,
Oh.
I'm just
And,
going to shift ourselves over to a slideshow. There are quite a lot of slides you gave me before the show, so we'll just carry on talking. But instead of the video, we're looking at various slides you actually sent me. So I'm going to
okay, wonderful.
I'm
I'll
going to
just,
flip through them quite fast because of time, but you can comment on them as we go. Yeah.
Okay,
But
so we're going to the left screen.
Yeah, the left screen. It says Alternate Metaverse Town Hall. Yeah.
Okay, yes, that is our town hall. The big rounded building that looks like a thumbnail is our town hall itself. The building behind it is our staff offices, for not only for our staff but Core Fun Academy staff. And then you see a little square building. Oh, here's the town hall. We have our town meetings there, which are a lot of fun. We let people participate and talk, and I really like them.
And very useful as well. But
This is in our
good to get
offices.
feedback.
You get the feedback, do you? People, do they come up with good ideas of how things could be done, and that you was like, no, that's not going to work?
Yeah,
Or do they?
the volunteer ideas certainly, and obviously we listen to them. But it's also
Some of them are very good,
yeah,
and
Excellent.
we implement them.
it's
But
also
others,
it's a good way of getting the news out as well. Like if there's new features and
Absolutely.
things, we get it to
So,
everybody. You know?
so
This
when
is
is your? When do you have? When
example.
do you have your meetings? Do you have them once a month? How does that work?
we usually have like one every couple months or so.
I gotcha.
We just had one at the birthday celebration where we inaugurated the mayor. It's on a video.
Who's the mayor?
Taffy Starr. She's just a wonderful lady. She came to me and said, "I want to be the mayor of Alternate Metaverse. Do you have a mayor?" And I said, "No. I guess you're probably the only one who wants to be a mayor. You know, nobody else asked me. So why don't we let you be the mayor?" She was already doing things around the grid to help.
Yeah, she's a yard sale manager as well.
Yes, we have a
Excellent. That's a
region
good
called
combo.
Yard Sale where people can if they're not necessarily a builder, they can put some freebies in there. They can put things they built.
These photos, this one that's up at the moment, but also
That's the staff office.
Yeah, the tower down hall. This is another example of that odd sort of architecture that I found really attractive.
Yeah.
It's different. It's very curvy, but kind of modern.
Yes.
Same
Yeah.
time. Loved it.
That's our offices for the staff of AMV and Corfine Academy. That's an expo hall, right at the bottom of the screen. This is particle class. This is Maya's particle class that we were talking about before. And this was a BOM class that was taught by Shay. She's no longer around much because she's got so much real life going on.
So is the grid active, busy all 24 hours a day? How does that work? Because I'm guessing you two are not in the same time zone. So
this was Webby's PMAC class, and this is us all at the end of it. You know, holding poses and pillows and stuff like that she created.
There are quiet times, but the Europeans tend to do stuff in their early evening, and then it goes on naturally to sort of lunchtime for the Brits, and then the Americans come in. So yeah, it's good, but it means that there is a little bit of a lull around about when I wake up, so I can go around and check stuff and do my chores and do my housekeeping.
So that works out well for you then.
It works out very well for me, yeah.
We're back in Meridian now, in the slideshow. We do a lot of live events that we host, but now we have a lot more of the grid residents who are hosting things in their own clubs lately, and some of them are later at night, which is good. There's not a whole lot on the hypergrid going on late at night, so people come in. We started doing power trance Friday nights with myself and 3 other DJs, handing off an hour of DJing to the next DJ, to the next DJ, and we have a lot of particles and fun, and just a very nice night. Friday nights just started this last Friday.
Yeah, but at the festivals, like the Winterfest, I think we did something like a 14-hour live music set.
Wow.
Yeah, we do a lot of live music events, and a lot of the money that we make on our land sales goes into our live events. Cliff and I barely have a dime, that comes into our homes from here. It goes right back into the grid. That's why we grow. And that's why people love it here. We put it right back in.
It's definitely a labor of love. Yeah, anyone can see that.
I feel that OpenSim is a labor of love for whoever comes here. I don't think it's a money-making place. I think even performers don't make a lot of money, and DJs don't make a lot of money. People don't tip as much as they do in other worlds and things like that.
Well, I think if you come in here hoping that that's how you're gonna make your fortune, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. That's for sure.
That's Meridian Palace and the People Aquarium, where the people go inside the tank, and the mermaids swim around and look at them. Little spin on things. And that again is the Palace, Meridian Palace, which I built.
When you say performers don't tip as much, do they actually tip? Do you use a Podex or Kitely or any of the commercial?
Well, we send them PayPal.
Right.
We pay them when they perform for us.
Right.
Plus, we tip them with PayPal. But usually, the crowd they don't tip a lot. They really could do better because, let me tell you, it's a lot of work for these people, you know. And some of them pay for their music, their backing tracks, and things like that. They pay for their instruments, guitar strings, things like that. And
I mean,
all of it.
If, for example, there was a kind of virtual currency here, would you as a grid approve of that kind of thing? It wouldn't be a
well, I had a problem back when I was in Inworld.
Yeah.
Inworlds. I lost a lot. Yeah. So, and I never got that back. And, you know, I lost a lot of my creations, my textures. I had a texture store. I had alternate metaverse stores. I had 4 regions full of stores. And I lost so much. So when we built Alternate Metaverse, we decided that we don't want our people to ever lose their things because of us. We made it so that they can copy their own ores.
Yeah.
They can restart their own regions. They can do their own rollbacks. And if they have an ore that they want put on there, we'll do it for them. We don't take any personal information. We don't even know their real names. We just know their avatar name and their email address, period. That's all we know.
That's all you need. Yeah.
So anyone who ever tried to hack information from us will not get it because we don't have it. And we don't need it. We don't want it. We don't want to take their money. Their money goes to Globits and to PayPal. And so if anything, like let's say Cliff and I are, you know, in an accident or something together, and the place had to close down, they would not lose a dime because they can get it back from PayPal. They can get it from, you know, from Globits, and they can take copies of their ores. So we will never leave them hanging.
Yeah, that's
to answer your question. The Globits is the only virtual currency that we support.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so at least I notice you're not one of those grids that immediately pops up an alert when I arrive saying join Globits now.
Try not to. It's I sometimes get that one myself, even though I've got Globits. But
yeah,
we try and keep those to a minimum.
Yeah, I'm registered there somewhere ages ago, but you know, I still get these pop-ups somewhere, and I think, you know,
yeah, I'm sure you probably know this, but not everyone watching knows this. But when you have an account with Globits,
yeah,
it's good on any grid that you go to that has Globits.
Oh yeah.
So you can spend your money on, let's say you go to DigiWorld, who has stores that you could buy things in. You know, you could spend some of that money over there. You know,
it's far more portable than Podex, certainly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. The only thing I think they're a little slow with trying to get money out for people.
Yeah.
So you know what Cliff and I do? We go around asking people, anyone want to trade in some Globits for cash? You know, instead of like when it's time for us to buy some, we'll buy them from the residents instead of going there because
that's a good workaround.
That's you know,
it's like, an interesting one as well because you get an idea of how much the musicians are making.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Someone like Clan Scotia, he gets a lot of Globits, okay, from people. So I'll buy them from him, and I'll send him the PayPal, and he can use it, you know.
Yeah, there's for
his rent or whatever.
There's not just Clan. There's all of them. I've bought from all of them.
Yeah, I've bought from a lot too.
It helps them out.
It helps them, and the money doesn't go to a third party.
Oh look,
you know, And if they're dissatisfied with us doing that, well, then they can get a little bit faster with that and a little bit more in
Exactly.
tune with their customers.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah,
Well,
this is our karaoke.
Yeah,
This is where we got hijacked, isn't it?
Yes, we got hijacked, and
I'm running it silently, so you can tell the adventure.
we love our staff so much.
Yeah, well, basically we're
Look
singing.
at what they
and,
did to us.
Our grid manager,
This has sound.
Our grid manager Lily took the stage over, and she's very nervous at speaking in public. And she got all the staff onto the stage and said, thank you, Cat and Cliff, for what you've done for us. This is what we think of you." And
they are so sweet.
The pictures will tell the words. Anyway, we'll tell the story.
There's her voice.
Trophies to you, with the bottom of our heart to each of you. I hope they heard what I said. I don't know. I'm about to cry, so I got to get this done.
She did cry. I did too.
Yeah, it's.
It
was very moving.
Mm-hmm. We made these trophies the size of a house for us. They're so sweet. That's Passion. Jumanji. That's Ted Jr. Let's see. Taffy in the middle, the mayor.
It's the trophies.
Yeah, there's the trophies.
Talk about not possible in real life.
Yeah.
The big bazongas.
We've had some amazing nights at karaoke, but that topped it for me. It was absolutely incredible.
I took double. I put them in our office. I put them in our house. I shrunk them a bit.
Yeah, bring in the virtual trailers to cast it off.
It was just so sweet.
Oh, look, I've got my Frank out. My Frank Sinatra out.
You always have that hat on.
Okay, but I'm going to flip through this a wee bit because it's 8 minutes.
This is called AMV's Got Talent, this club.
Yeah.
And we do all our karaoke's in there with OBS.
No, just say a little bit about the philosophy when we first started AMV, which might give you a little insight into why people are so happy. Obviously, we've both been in Second World, we've both been in Inworlds, and my first thought about all of them were that they were overcrowded. We didn't want that. So our policy is, if you get a region here, unless you specifically ask for a neighbor, then you will not have a neighbor, you will have water. So
right.
hence, of those 752 regions, 354 of them are water regions only for sailing, flying, swimming, walking, just being part of the grid waters so people can get from their land onto grid waters and get anywhere on the grid or just go sailing off their own little island. But it gives space. It gives them a lot more. It makes it feel bigger than a single region. It makes it feel huge because they're not overlooked by anybody. And they don't get the lag from anybody else.
Yeah.
So,
and for those who can't afford houses and land, we have what we call the Homesteaders Housing Project. We have 3 regions, big bar regions with free houses for anybody who asks for one. They have to be a member of the grid. If they come and they're not a member of the grid, we just tell them join the grid, and and you get your house. They're nice big houses. Jimmy Olsen put together the regions, and it's basically run by Derry Bay Arabello, who also runs the school and is a lead mentor. She's just incredible, this woman. Nightwind Armistice, who does this with her, and Passion Jumanji, and a few other staff members that help populate the housing projects and watch for people, like when people leave and we have to roll over a property, They
Keep
watch
a
out
track
for all
of-
that. Yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm curious to know, do you get people coming from Second Life to join AMV?
Oh.
Or
Lots.
tell me more, something about
Let me
that.
tell you what happened. Yes, let me tell you what happened.
Could I just interrupt you very briefly? You're watching the fashion show at the moment, and the whole
Yes.
stage and the whole thing there, the whole animations were all put together by Webby again. Webby
Yep.
Merlin.
Right. Yeah, I like the look of that nightclubby kind of, with the
Yeah.
tables and chairs and things.
And all,
Yeah.
all the tables and chairs are full of animation, so you can sit there and applaud. You can look at the menu, order drinks, order food, and it all
Yeah,
works.
they're wonderful. You can even take selfies with the models
Oh,
on her animations with the tables. If the models walk up to your table, you can do a selfie with them.
I know where Thurza's going to go to chase up animations next.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, back to Focus Magazine did an article on us. Now, for years and years, OpenSim has been basically been hidden away by SL. There's me in one of my fashions, by the way, in the thing. SL has done a really good job of hiding OpenSim. I can't believe how many people never heard of it that are SL residents for years and years. And so Focus Magazine did this big article on us with pictures and everything. They took Nix's art. They took pictures of regions. People in SL thought, wow, we thought you were all, didn't even have, sculpties yet. And I'm just shocked to hear how many people had this vision of OpenSim, if they knew of it at all, of us being like in the Stone Age.
I think there was. I think that happened for two reasons. One is people in Second Life, they get very tribal and attached to their inventory and their tribe. Often it takes the whole tribe to move out of Second Life to say an open sim grid that gives it that drive. So the fact that there was quite a bit of linkage in the beginning. I mean, at one point you could actually teleport, in a special group into open sim from Second Life, and the problem is, it wasn't Linden Labs engine exactly. There were teething problems, and like anything else, if you went into Second Life on the first day of Lindenwold, as it was called, I don't think you'd have gone back unless you were a real like snowball fight kind of person.
Really determined.
And I'm afraid OpenSim is sort of just as Second Life is almost marred by the early stories of sort of sex and stuff. OpenSim is marred a bit by the fact that it was all a poor relation. Whereas over time it has become, it's actually, I mean, I never get lag in OpenSim, but the moment I set my lag-free avatar loose in Second Life, I can't move. It's just a different. But people, there was a tour thing that I was trying to film for somebody a few weeks ago, and it was impossible. And that was in Second Life, which, it's got its Amazon Web Services and everything else. It's supposed to be super fast, and in fact, all we've got is super lag. It's but there are those. I think people actually get a shock when they do come here and they attend an event like this or something that is rich visually and audio and everything else. They realise that it's just as good as Second Life, if not better.
Yeah. I think that fashion show there, they had about 38 people there at one point.
Yeah, that's a great thing. So you were able to use that experience with Focus Magazine to interest more people in joining the.
Not only that, half the staff came and moved here to our grid.
That's nice.
And they're doing things with the arts. They're very, very impressed with our level of artistic interest out here. And that's just not just my place. That's all over OpenSim. They're very, very thrilled about that. And some of those people that moved here from Focus Magazine have brought live entertainers. We have had people pouring in from SL for months now since this happened. Just pouring, like we get like maybe 10 a day
Yeah.
from SL.
That's
Some
great.
days a little bit less, some days a lot more.
Yes,
Yeah, obviously they
all
don't
that-
all stay, but
all that-
we
yeah,
we
but
get a
that-
good conversion rate.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
and a
nice
lot
that
of
the
them.
curiosity that they show is rewarded by a good quality experience, because the problem is curiosity is a very ephemeral thing. People are curious until they run into the first problem, that there's no content, that there's lag, that there's nothing to see. But obviously your grid offers all these things. So it's a
Yeah,
great
and-
first experience. I could see
Yeah.
that would happen.
I even-
But, we had the same thing from Littlefield Grid, is this, who were on the show last week. They have the same idea that they try and keep the standards high, especially on and the way their grid runs. And it does attract people from Second Life, because just as Mal was saying,
Yes.
the performance in Second Life is not all that great. And it's true, there's no marketplace, but there's plenty of content, because just as you've had your fashion show, you probably know that the German grids did a fashion show this year too, with 8 different original designers amongst the Germans, and they had 50 people at that event, so very similar to yourselves. So there's a great interest in original fashion and making OpenSim, making its place on the map, really. And why wouldn't somebody want to come? And Walter was saying last week, if people say, well, I don't want to go there because I don't know anybody, his answer was, well, bring your friends. Don't
Yes.
come on your own. Convince your friends to come too.
Exactly. The biggest thing that they say, the biggest response from people in Second Life is, but I bought all this stuff and I can't bring it with me. I'd have to buy everything else again. And you say, no, you'll probably never buy another thing ever
Exactly.
if you move there, and so what if you're saying goodbye to that stuff? You're getting all new stuff. You're starting fresh. And you know what? You
Well,
can
and your own
always go
stuff
back.
will still be there. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
It's
sure.
not like
and-
anybody's going to steal your stuff while you're away.
Yeah.
This
and
is the
It'll still
birthday
be there.
party. This video that's on now. This is our 3rd anniversary. And
the other thing is
what a
about
region!
when people do get here from Second Life, all the stuff that they get to keep. We don't have the restrictive covenants that Linden Labs have. Like, if you create something in Second Life, it belongs to
That's
Second
right.
Life.
Well, I
If
will
you
say this
create
about
it,
my
yeah.
fashions. I will say this about my fashions. I went and bought about 12,000 lindens worth of meshes that allowed me to export them on their TOS. So I had to abide by their rules in the TOS and make them either no copy or no transfer. Now, what people do in the virtual world and in changing perms, I cannot help that, but I did abide by their TOS. And so they're legal fashions, they're 100% legal. They're paid for by me. They're created by me. As far as the texturing and all that stuff, I do my own textures and mods and all that. So, not all the content out here is what you think. There's a
No,
lot
that's
of
exactly
legal
right.
stuff.
You're making a good point. Yeah. And Trizzy from Raven's Roost Concourse, she does exactly the same thing. She goes and she asks people in Second Life, can I take your stuff and use it in OpenSim? It won't be sold. It's not a commercial situation. Do you mind if I take it, maybe modify it? And she says, some of them say no, but plenty of people say yes. So there's loads of legitimate content. It may look a lot like what you can find in Second Life, but that's not actually a sign in itself that it's illegal. And of course, then there's loads of people making stuff that's brand new as well. So
Right.
as people get better at mesh and better at rigging, here we are.
Yeah. That was the inauguration of Mayor Taffy, by the way, that you just saw on there. This is all scenes from our 3rd anniversary region, which was just breathtaking.
Yeah.
I have to say, when
afraid
Ted Jr.
I'm afraid we're going to have to move on this, which is why I'm going through this so fast.
Oh, okay.
At least we're getting to show, all the things, even if we're whizzing through it a bit. So it's, I think we've actually covered all the video we had, which is great.
Okay.
Even if it was on fast
That
forward.
was a very good night, the birthday there, where we had clan playing and they did a UFO landing. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys actually? Yeah, Cataplexia, I'm sure I've seen you on safaris, haven't I? Have we had?
We
I
did a
used
couple
to
of.
go religiously, and then
Well, back in the
I
day, we had a couple of opportunities that Cat hosted us, but that was a long time ago, back in the first safaris, because I can remember coming and seeing some of your shops. We brought the group to see that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was on
back in the day.
Kitely. That was back on
It
Kitely
might have been
Grid.
on Kitely, yeah.
Yeah, I
No, I'm
remember
sure
it
it was on
well. I
some other
loved
grid. Maybe
having
it
you
was on
guys
Great
come.
Canadian.
Have it-
Maybe it was on Great Canadian as well. Didn't you have a shop
I
over there?
was. I know. I never had a shop, but I did live there for a little while.
Mm. Oh
Um,
well.
Okay.
I've been
What?
around for longer than I look.
Well, okay, we'll move on. What I'm loading now, actually, so I'll let you chat to us. So I've got two clips here, which are actually we took from Safari this week, and then I've got the pages with the pictures on. So I'll hand it to you now, as it were, to give us a little bit of a roundup here while I play this. It's about 4 or 5 minutes, I think. I have got this right. Yeah, that's where we were. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, we were in two regions this week, and I'd already got plenty from the first region. So
So this is the second of the two places we went to, which is a quite a small grid. It's called Zonations. It's run by another old timer, good lord, Druskus, who used to have Clone Life back in the day. Anybody who went hypergridding back in like 2009 would remember that grid. It was one of the few places you could find content. And the Clone Life grid died, and he set up this grid a couple of years ago. It's really not the same kind of freebie paradise as the first grid was, but this one is more about his interest in Joomla. He actually works with Joomla to translate a lot of stuff into Italian for people who want to make Joomla-based websites and apps here in Italy. So, so that's where we went this week. It was one of the more fun mix-up regions, and very much like yourself, his idea is that it shouldn't be commercial, that there should be a little bit of something for everybody. And it's not a huge grid. I think there's only like 12 sims on the whole grid, so it's quite small, but it's a beautiful little place.
and that they got that game they're playing there, and everywhere I went with the camera, there was another copy of the game lying around, and the same
Oh,
lion
really?
and the lion. So they're obviously they're very good. That's a lovely little build.
Yeah, just a relaxing sim, this one. And he also has a different sim close by that is just dedicated to everything Joomla. So
Yeah, nice stuff there.
Yeah,
James,
that's the greedy game.
greedy games. That was it.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard much from James. He's gone quiet. You were on safari with us too. Did you enjoy these visits?
Oh, of course, yeah. I love I just enjoy the design work and the so much of what I'm seeing now in OpenSim is such clever scripting, and I find that so difficult. And so, I mean, in addition, I mean, there are so many experts on Blender and the shapes, but boy, what things actually do while you're in world are really amazing. So seeing someone tying Joomla and a learning and that kind of management platform into open simulators, it's a blast.
And that's the genius of OpenSim, really, because there's no, in most grids, in it at least, there's not this commercial imperative. I have to do something to make money.
Right.
Then people's imagination, people's private life comes much more into play. So the variety of things that people are interested in is just mind blowing. Because there's so much going on. You may meet the person at a dance or at another event, and it just, that's that guy, Joe. And you have no idea that he has all this talent, he has all this knowledge, and then you go and visit their grid, and you discover that they have all these interests and talent and knowledge. And again, it comes much into what Clifford Cat are doing with
Yeah.
their academy and the lessons being learned, because it's so much more than just these 3D avatars dancing. OpenSim is about learning, it's about community, it's about exploring
Well, and
different cultures and different ideas.
that does
Exactly.
bring a question to mind, and I'm curious, Kat or Cliff, do people use Patreon much? So if if you have people who like your work, do you find much of the people that you know and work with are looking at something like Patreon to help support their artists? You're talking about in-world currencies, but I'm also curious about that.
I've got to be honest, I've never actually heard of it.
Okay.
Neither have
Okay.
I.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It would usually. I mean, it's basically a way of fundraising, for a project.
Right.
And people want to launch websites and things like that.
A bit like crowdfunding, but
Yeah.
It is actually,
Yeah.
well, it is crowdfunding in effect.
There's
So a big enough project, that you wanted to launch in a world, probably would, if you could probably find enough people to maybe crowdfund it. I don't know, but
are they trying to do that to get a replacement for Vivox?
I think there was.
There
Yes,
was.
I think that was a crowdfunding thing. I don't know if it's Patreon. Yeah.
Joao Frizzell has something that he started called Digital, which is credits for tipping. So let's say that you go to see Joao and you tip him, 500 Globits. Okay, that goes on a credit towards buying music from his website. So
Right.
if you go to see him often, you'll end up with free CDs and things like that. And he has other artists that have started in doing digital, through him. He has a region on our grid for it. So if you're interested, talk to Joao.
Interesting.
I think it's a good system. I mean, if you're going to tip anyway, your tips can go towards free music. That's a great thing. You get compensation back.
Yeah, I'm sure that Joe's doing okay out of it, and I'm sure that he would welcome any musicians joining in with it.
I was quite interested as to, well, I haven't got time to go into it now, but when I was asking you about the currency, I was quite attracted by the idea of a suggestion that there wouldn't be a currency, actually. It would be a trading system where, service exchange and things like that. So like trade and barter, I guess, before they invented money. And whether there could be a system of credits assigned to certain things that people would be able to trade, so there would be no central money system. There would be just a sort of
Would be all barter system.
I've got this, and I'm looking for this. So instead of just lots of people going around picking out freebies, they might actually search for something and give something in exchange. So encouraging people to be productive rather than just consumers. However,
interesting idea. Yeah.
Yeah. However, moving on from that and everything else for that matter. What's happened? Oh, yeah, here we are. Right. Just a few little websites to end on, as it were. Tangle Grid goes through changes. This is since we had them on our show last week. Hang on, preview. Where is it? Where's it gone? Hang on. It's a web page. Should be there somewhere. It's disappeared. Okay, let's go to Safari instead. Tuesday, basically, Thirza announced, as you see, back in business. I love this crushing the hyperverse. Where did you get that idea? Hang on, we need to be in a different. Okay, we'll just. I need to switch to the old ordinary mode, so to speak. So these are pictures, of course, from our first stop, which was Lorentone, and we were joined by Chantal Harvey as well, who filmed a wonderful film of this area. And
I like the look of that.
Yeah, this was inside the. I mean, this is all based on the 2001
Yeah,
spaceship.
Arthur C. Clarke's.
Yes, I suppose that's the one thing you guys don't really get to do very much, and that is visit other grids because you're busy on your own so much, and there's
Correct.
between building and maintaining everything. But yeah, that is definitely one to go and see. There's no experience like it anywhere else in OpenSim. There really isn't. You've got the genius of Lauren with sound, and you've got the genius of Alia with the building, and so it's an exceptional place.
And
Yeah, Lauren's been involved in some amazing soundscapes in his time.
yeah,
But the great thing about Lauren is that he jumps back and forth between OpenSim and Second Life. So, he brings some of his pals from there as well. So that was great.
Yeah.
you can't actually tell from here, but the length of the ship actually covers many sims. Well, 4 or 5 at least. I went to film there first time, and I didn't realize. I just zoomed in with my camera. But in fact, when you walk through where you can see my cursor, you probably see the cursor. You walk into that, and it'll run through that, and it's like the same psychedelic experience you actually experienced in the film, but done open sim style, and very pleasantly disorientating, although I suspect I think people with epilepsy and things were warned in advance. But you're going from this sterile ship environment into the sort of hallucinogenic one, which is and this is the Joomla one again. Thirza's got a picture here, of course, so that's I didn't feature it in the video, but this is the little build about Joomla. So let's move on to the next one, setting the tone. Oh, hang on. Did I get right? Okay. We're in the wrong one, aren't I? There we go. There we are.
Yeah,
So,
it begins with diagram. Instead of the ship being circular as it is in the movie, it's linear. So, and you start in the middle, and there's like 2 different journeys that you go on. One to experience what Hal goes through, and the other to experience what Dave goes through. So it's actually a double journey. It's a lot of fun.
yeah.
Very intense. I'm glad we went to do something very simple afterwards.
Yeah.
I think 2 builds like that would have been exhausting.
There we are, coming out of one of the trips, so to speak, I think. And yeah. Yeah, there were 3 helmets that allowed you to go anti-gravity, weren't there, at one point? This is it, actually.
That's nicely done.
That's an avatar there. This is the monolith, and where you actually start. So you beam yourself up there. There's all the folks having their.
There were, I think, 20 of us, which is about average for a safari trip. But they were delighted when everybody had left. I think I was the last one left on the sim, and they were so happy because the sim had not crashed and all the scripts had worked. Because obviously there's quite a lot of stuff happening there with all the sound emitters firing off, and when you've got a lot of people walking around, that can be interesting.
This isn't perfect video or anything, but this gives you an idea of what was going on when you walked away from the sort of solid area into the.
You get the idea, yeah.
It's not easy to make a GIF when you're in a place like that, I can tell you.
This is what the helmets did to you. Although I must admit, I put one on and it didn't do it to me, but I probably.
I think the script was tiny little bit slow on that one because I saw it kick in. It took about a couple of minutes before it kicked in. But of course, what always happens on safaris is that the person who's leading the tour, they're so nervous that we're not going to see everything because there's only an hour. So come on, we have to go. So obviously everybody needs just a moment to take in the environment where they are, because for the builder it's all very familiar, but for the group obviously it isn't. So it's a bit of a psychological journey just to host a safari sometimes. And yeah, there was a lot of us.
Well, Thirza, when you want another project, we have a full-size cruise liner.
Yes, we advertised that a couple of weeks ago. We had it on the show. We were talking about it.
Yeah, you want to have a visit of that. That is
Mal
absolutely
read the
incredible.
list of all the things that were on offer. Do you remember that, Mal? That huge list of things that were on the
Oh,
cruise
right,
ship.
yes, yes. It was come to this cruise
Yeah,
ship.
we
We're having
featured it.
we're having a huge Valentine's party there.
Yeah.
So I'll
I
have
think,
to
Yeah,
send
we'll
you
have to
some
try and
promo.
we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to try and fit you into our schedule for another safari there. That'd be great.
Fabulous.
Sometime in the future.
Can I ask a question about the right-hand screen there? Hypergrid happening.
Yeah.
I take it that's basically a directory of events in
No,
OpenSim.
that's just the beginning part of this show where we usually talk about 5 or 6 places and things
Okay.
that have happened. So you
Yeah.
just let me know if you have something you'd like us to
Okay, so
feature,
there is
and we will.
that doesn't exist as a website somewhere then for.
what we
There is
do,
a Hypergrid Happenings on if you look on Facebook, you'll find it, but it's run by our good friend Stranik. So we just stole his name because it was a good name.
what we
He's okay with it.
I just wondered if it had got an API so we could actually use our system to actually upload our stuff from our calendar directly onto
No,
it.
it's just a person with a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what we do is we collect the pictures for the events, and it's all basically in the coming week. For example, I've got a couple here I haven't shown because they're 3 weeks away. But what we do, or I do actually, is when I've got the finished show, which will be maybe 90 minutes or something, on a lucky day, I think we're probably over it by now. I then crop out that section we played at the beginning. That's the reason it's got its own title and it had its music and the ending. I crop that out as a sort of 7-minute extra, and we put that on Facebook as a teaser instead of the full show. You see what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not, it's very,
Oh, there it is.
there it is. Talk real quick. Okay. Thank you, James. I knew when I said that we were probably heading over time, that was going to go off. Very quickly then, here are the final slides from this week's safaris. Right, that should got it. This is in the zone.
Jimmy's tree.
Basically,
that tree's
Jimmy's
everywhere.
Tree. Yeah, and that's Druscus.
that's lovely. That's a lovely shot.
That tree is
that
everywhere.
tree really is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen it so many places. It's true. Great job.
It's the Zoomler thing there. And oh, good God! It's that man who's always sitting.
Yeah, James.
Hey, I've got a sit
James,
button. I've
sit
got a sit button. I'm
anywhere.
going to use it. Right?
Two or three slides back, that looked like Whitby Abbey.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah,
Dracula fame.
Yeah, that was right on.
That's a nice shot too.
And that's your Jumla Temple.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun to camera around in and stuff. I think I must.
Yes. Maybe just the variety of different things that people get up to is just mind blowing.
And there everybody is. So the final one is AI Austin, who's got his blog.inf.ed.ac.uk. Come again. He also posted a blog on the visit here to Thirza Grid and the HAL 9000. Pretty much the same, just different pictures, his own stuff, summarising Thirza's blog, I think, really. But
If you guys do get a night off, though, and you feel like going for a trip, that is definitely a place to go and see, because it's...
That's Third Rock Grid?
Yes. We'll drop
Okay.
the landmark on you so you can go see it.
We've been there together, but it was before they redid things, you know. We went to that soundscape thing that Lauren was involved
Oh,
with.
right. Yes. Yeah. But this is close by that, but it's a different
Okay.
scene.
I would love a landmark. Thank you.
I just found the extra one that wasn't coming up earlier. It's just this is Tangle Grid Net, TANGLE GRID Net. We had them on the show last week, but they posted this week midweek. Tangle Grid goes through changes. I don't know whether that's deliberate.
I don't know.
The spelling of through, but there you go. So it's just a report on various changes they're putting in place, and they're quite a big grid too. So we're about done, as it were. So who knows? Let's. I'll forget my screen share. There was actually a lovely picture in some of your sections, but I can't remember which one. So I'll just put a random picture on screen there, so we've got something behind us.
Staff
Right.
office.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're nearing the end of everything, thank goodness. James has fired off the alarm, so I do know we're now over 90 minutes, that's for sure. Any final thoughts from anyone? Let's start with, Cataplexia, any final thoughts?
Support live music, everyone. Please tip
Yeah.
your musicians and keep them coming.
Yep.
Thank
Right.
you.
And, yeah.
Yeah, please come and visit us. Come and visit some of the amazing live music we've got. You already know about Clan, so come
Yeah.
and see me. Come and see me in action.
Yeah. And Sea Haven. Sea Haven is a great place filled with
And-
live performers.
Put January the 25th in your diaries.
It might be a good time for me to drag Slimmy over to Skinwarrior over to.
Yeah.
She's
25th of January is Burns Night.
Yeah. Oh.
You found another Brit to tell about Burns Night.
No,
Good.
no relation.
Clan will be toasting the haggis.
Yeah, no relation. I hasten to add. Maybe I should pretend otherwise.
Oh. Well,
Right, Thirza, anything else?
Yeah, thanks for a great show, Kat and Cliff, and we hope you come back and see us another time and talk about
thank you
some
so
other
much.
aspects of your
That would
grid.
be very
It's been
nice.
lovely having you.
Yeah,
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's always
Very
a
nice-
pleasure to be
Very
on the
nice to meet
show.
you all properly.
indeed.
Thank you so much.
so much.
Thank you, James.
Oh, absolutely.
You cinematographer genius, you.
Yeah, clicking buttons.
He's so good. Yeah.
When James moves his head and he's scratching his chin like that, I keep thinking those baubles on his head are going to ring, like chimes.
I love that. Nice hat.
It's not happening. Yeah, he had another one last week, but then he had one knob on it. But that's a standard joke with us.
That's at another grid, of course.
James, any lasting thoughts? Before
No,
we go?
just wonderful to see the fantastic work. Thank you so much. Thanks to Cliff and Kat. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you very
well,
much.
That is a wrap, everybody. Remember, we are here every week, Sunday at noon Pacific time, and with I don't know what we'll have next week, but we'll have more guests and more exciting things to share with you, and generally experience the wonders of everything on the hypergrid. Sorry.
Right. If any of you find people who have got nothing to do in the next hour, Kieran and Metzer has just started to perform at AMV events,
Right.
Super.
Okay. Well,
so we'd better be there.
Oh, we better be.
yeah, you better be there too. Very good. Very good. Okay, well, I think that's it. You'll find this show replayable anytime over on YouTube, and Hypergrid Happenings will be up on the review bit of, was it the Safari? I forget. There was something in the meta book, jungle, and yeah. Until next week, I'm going to wish you all a very good morning, very good afternoon, or a very good evening, and indeed a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And with
Have a
that,
good life, Mel.
it's a wrap.
Thank you so much. We're going to run like heck because
Yep. Yeah, the credits are done. Oh, they're yeah. I went to the credits right away. Yep. All right, you as well. Yep. Yep. Bye bye. Yeah, and Mal, we had 19 live viewers at one point. With 19, yeah, yeah.